All right, what's up, Bulldogs? All right, today we're going to be geeking out. I've got Chris back here. If you remember, if you watched before, I had Chris on here, and he was talking about some of his investment strategies, and we were talking about some different ways to invest. But Chris is back, and he has some information on life insurance, on how to actually do a really good life insurance investment, and it was something that Chris had mentioned to me, and I thought, hey, well, we might as well just share it with everyone because, hey, I'm sure you guys want to know about it too. So yeah, welcome back, Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So what's this? How does this thing work? Tell me a little bit about what you're going to share.
Yeah, so this is, there are a couple different types of life insurance. Probably what most people are familiar with is term. You pay a premium, you get a death benefit. That's it. And then there's a cash value life insurance where it has a savings component. So you're buying a death benefit, but you're also putting cash in and that's growing in some way. And this thing I'm going to show today is based on a whole life insurance policy. And there are some financial products that at one time got kind of a bad name at one time, and even though they're not the same, that has kind of gone on. And I would name two. One of them is actually whole life, and the other is reverse mortgages, both of which are really good products, but they kind of started off rough, and that bad reputation has kind of stayed with them for a long time. So anyway, this is a cash value life insurance policy based on a whole life insurance policy. And I think, if I were to look, if someone's coming in and say, Chris, where should I start my investing? I would say you should start right here. This should be the first thing that everybody does. And you can supercharge any type of investing, whether it's conventional alternatives, crypto, real estate, using this tool, and it'll just magnify your returns. So if you want to put up that chart, we can kind of start walking through it.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let me see here. And just so for guys tuning in as well, we're not actually selling anything. Chris is just going over this because I'm curious about it. And
so here I have to say, I'm not a financial planner. I can't give you tax advice or tell you what to invest in, but I can tell you what I do, and this is what I do. So
yeah, I know people are like, this must be a life insurance sales pitch. It is not a life insurance sales pitch.
I couldn't sell it if I wanted to, but this is how I run my investment. So if you look at the blue box there, let me back up. Let's start with the $100,000 cash and kind of the cash flow arrow. So I'm assuming everybody, is investing and has some amount of money that they want to invest. And I know these are big numbers, but the guy that crafted this policy for me, if he was here, he would say, we can do this for anybody at any income level. So unlike a lot of the things that I do, nobody has to be an accredited investor. This is anybody at any income level can do this. So what we have is coming in from the left, we have some cash that you're going to invest. And it's going to go into a cash value life insurance policy. And in this example, that life insurance policy has a funding range. And the funding range is from $15,000 to $100,000 a year. And so let's say that I've run this over like a 5-year period. So let's just say year one, I'm able to put $100,000 into this policy. 15,000 of it goes toward, the product that you're buying, which is a death benefit. And, there's some costs associated with that. And then 85,000 goes into, a cash value bucket. And it's a little bit less than that right now in my particular policy, but somewhere around 5 to 6% tax-free, that's what that cash value earns. Now, some people might be tempted to say, well, Chris, that's really, 6%, that's nothing. I'm getting XYZ in the stock market or such and such with crypto, but you don't want to compare this to an investment. You want to compare this to a savings account, because that's what this is. This is with a mutual insurance company that has been paying investor dividends since before the Civil War. These are rock solid companies. So anyway, so you put your $100,000 in. There's $85,000 in cash. Now, I can turn around like within a week or two, and I can go to the insurance company and say, hey, I would like to borrow against, not borrow the cash value piece out, but I would like to borrow against it. So the insurance company will say, okay, we know that your cash with us is rock solid, so we're going to use your 85,000 as collateral, and we're going to make you a loan. We'll loan you $70,000 at 6% simple interest. Now, this is really important. When you're earning the 6% is compound interest. When you're paying the interest, it's 6%. So we'll come back to that a little bit later.
Okay.
So now I've got that 85,000 earning 6% over there. I've got a loan, and I've taken that $70,000 loan, and I decide to put it in some type of an investment that, let's just say, it makes 15%.
Okay.
So now I just take that money, and as that investment, let's say it's a piece of real estate, a single family rent, as it throws off cash, the circle just goes completely around. And every year I try to hit that maximum funding range of 100. Okay. And then what happens is, after about 5 years, that policy becomes self-sustaining. So I would never have to put another dollar in it for the premium if I didn't want to, but I still have the option of continuing to put money in there for the cash value. So now let's take a look at, you're in the right place. I want to look at these numbers and the 5-year results.
Okay.
So initially we put in our 85,000 and we took out a $70,000 loan. And we made a $70,000 investment. Yeah, right there in that first one. So what happens? So that's kind of year zero, or let me see here. So, and we've got 6% interest on both, and we're making 15% on the investment. Now let's look at kind of like the end of year one. So at the end of year one, our $85,000 would have grown to $90,100 because of the 6% compounded interest.
Right.
And we would owe $4,200 on that's the interest only on that loan. And our investment that we made with the 70,000, making 15%, has grown to 80,500. So we've gone from the 85,000 of cash value to a value of 166,400 at the end of year one.
Okay. Now hold on, one couple things here, I guess. So with this calculation, if you subtract the 90,100, or if you take 90,100, you subtract the 4,200, you're still at 85,900. So you're basically even just being paid $900 just to take the money and do nothing with it, except pay it right back.
Because I think because it's the simple interest. Even if you took the loan and put it in an investment that was making the same 6%, because you're earning compounding and paying simple, there's still a little bit of a difference there. So yes, yeah.
Okay. And then when you've got the investment here, that's worth 80,500. The only thing with this 166,400 is, don't you still have a? I was gonna say you have a mortgage. No, you have a loan. You have a loan of 70K. So you still owe 70K.
Still owe 70. So this is like, well, now it's going to become too good to be true, right? Okay. So you actually never have to pay off this loan. Because you have a $2 million death benefit, and at the end of your life, when you pass, when the insured passes, the first thing that the insurance policy does is says, "Hey, are there any outstanding loans? If there are, then that pays off the loans, and then the remainder of the death benefit goes to whoever the beneficiaries are." So I don't need life insurance. I don't have dependents that I need to worry about or anything like that. I bought it strictly for the borrowing capability. So in my case, I have no plans of ever paying off this loan. So think about going out and making some type of a real estate investment, whether it be a small apartment building or a single family residence, and borrowing that money and then only having to make an interest-only payment once a year for the next 30 years. And then the debt magically disappears right at the end of that period.
Now, the only issue that I have is that, if you came in with your 100K cash, right, and you got a 70K loan, then you still have 30K that you less. So why
70K less where?
30K less, because you came in with 100,000, right, cash. but you only got 70K out to invest. Why go through this at all? Why not just take the 100K and put it right into the investment here?
Well, so you didn't take away the 70,000 from your 80,000 cash value. That's an additional 70. So you have your 85,000 in there earning 6% tax free, and using that as collateral, the insurance company went to their bank account and loaned you 70.
But ultimately, okay, I see what you're saying. So you've got 85 in here, but you can't really touch this 85K. You're getting a loan against that, right? But if you just took the 100K and just invested it straight, I mean, I guess you're getting the extra benefit of having this less life insurance policy.
Well, I'm making money on the same money in two places at the same time. So I only started off with that 85, right? But I've invested 85 and now another 70 that I got from the insurance company.
But this 85 is almost being canceled out by the 6% interest you're paying on it.
So not really. I mean, so let's just look at year one. So your 85,000 went from 85,000 to 90. And then the 70 that you borrowed went from 70 to 85,000. So your investment of 85,000 went to 166,400 at the end of year one. And the only thing, and that's including you paying off the interest, and you never have to pay off the principal.
Oh, okay. I think I'm getting it now. So you're treating this investment as a separate investment that's just gaining 6% per year. And then you got two investments. You got the 85,000 earning 6% tax free in the policy, and then you have another $70,000 investment making 15%. And then the difference is down there in the orange is it's costing you the $4,200 of interest a year. I see. Okay. But if we were to take these numbers, right, because you still owe the money. Like if you wanted to take this, the money out of the cash value life insurance, right? Let's say at year 5, the 113,000. In order to take the 113,000 out, you'd have to pay. Well, the question is, could you take it out? First of all, I guess.
So you're getting onto something. No, you can't take if you've got the maximum loan, you can't take out your collateral, right?
Right, you'd have to pay.
You'd have to pay something back, and but this. So that's a good point that I hadn't thought of. I mean, you don't get the actual benefit of the cash value. So if you want to use this at some point in time, you have the cash value piece. You have to reduce those loans.
Right. Okay. So if we looked at this then at year 5, if we take the 250, 344, and since it's simple interest, you're not actually, and you're just paying interest only, right? You're not paying down the principal at all.
Right.
So you're still going to owe 70,000. So we could subtract 70,000 from it. So you really have, at the end of year 5, $180,000 approximately.
250 minus what we got, minus the 70. You got 180, 344. So if I did that, if I said where would we end up if we started with 85,000 and we went to 180? I have to pull up a. Well, that's over 5. I'm pulling up one of my fancy calculators here. The ones you teach all your guys that they should have.
Compound interest one there.
Yeah. Well, compound or easy or internal rate of return. Let's just do an ROI here. So we had an original investment of 85,000.
Yeah, because you can figure out your IRR there based on the 180,000 final number. Because if you pulled out the deal, that's what you would have.
Term 5 years. Yeah, so if I say the original investment's 85 and the ending investment is 180 over a term of 5 years, it gives us a simple annualized return of 23.35%.
Okay, so 23.35. Now, let me run this math and see if this, here, let me bring it up in the window. Okay, calculator. Okay, so if we just took the 100,000 though, because I'm trying to figure out so if we just took the 100,000 and we just said multiply this times 1.15 and 1 year, 2 year, hold on, why did it didn't repeat it. Okay, I'll just do it times 5. Okay, so that's 2 years times 1.15, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So at the end of 5 years, if you just took the 100,000 though, you'd have more money, but you wouldn't have a life insurance policy worth $2 million.
Yeah. What interest rate did you use? Just this
15%, because I multiplied 15%. It by 1.15.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was trying to figure out because it doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're not making more money, but you're getting this, if I understand correctly, almost free.
Yeah. Well, there's another aspect to it, and I did 2 videos on this on my website, and one of them was me doing this, and the other one I had the insurance guy on there, and maybe I better go back and look at that. But he shows a delta, a pretty significant delta with his calculations, doing an investment without the life insurance policy versus doing it with. And I'm seeing some deficiencies in my little example here that you're helping me figure out. So,
I mean, maybe the difference is that if you're taking the cash flow from this and you're putting it back in, then maybe because you're recycling that money, maybe that's where the difference is. So instead of like taking this number and just saying, okay, I have this cash, because at the end of year 1, right, you would have from this investment, if it's a 15% return, you'd have $10,500. Although it might not all be cash flow, but let's say that it that is accessible money. Then you would be putting it back into here, which would raise your collateral, which would mean that you could take out more money from the loan. So maybe that's where where this whole thing ends up working out. Because if you just do it straight like this, then it doesn't make much sense to me, because it makes sense in the sense that like you're getting this for free almost, because it's but yeah, I'm missing
there's another aspect of it too. So there's a couple things. So everything that's earned inside that blue bucket, the cash value, that's tax free forever. When you this is like a Roth, right? Except without any of the restrictions. So that's a big Roth bucket. So that comes out completely tax free. And so now the other thing is think about what happens when you're a serious investor and you get cash and you're sitting on cash between investments, right? So let's say you had a liquidity event, you sold a business and you sold a property, and you're sitting on a couple $100,000, and you're going, okay, I need a place to put this money while I'm waiting for my next investment. The insurance guy Rod Zabriskie calls this the opportunity fund. So what most of us are sitting here and we're going, okay, so it's in a savings account earning less than 0.5%, and that drives me crazy. And there's also, there's a psychological effect that you could be tempted to jump on the first thing that comes around to put your money to use instead of waiting for the right thing. Well, for me, this is where all the excess cash goes. It goes into the policy. It's sitting there, tax-free, creditor protected. And then when I'm ready to make the investment, I personally don't take it out. I borrow.
Right. You take the loan against it. Okay.
Yeah. And now, so I think what you're getting at is that, and Rod, the insurance guy, would talk about this as a retirement vehicle. And he would say, yes, it's at some point in time, you want to pay down these loans. so that you can access and use this blue bucket here as a stream of retirement income. So I'm not there yet, and maybe my thinking is a little bit short-sighted in terms of never paying things off. But right now, I'm just cycling it through. And matter of fact, I just had a liquidity event, and I had more than the $100,000 limit, so I couldn't do the cash value. But what I could do is I could top up the cash value, and then I pay down the loans to keep that interest rate down until the next investment comes along. And then it's like a revolving line of credit. Money goes in, money goes out, and your money's always making money in that cash value of the life insurance piece. So, but you've got a really good point, is that, well, you can't really access it, or you can't fully access it, if you don't pay off some of those loans.
Now, okay, so I guess two questions here. So then this $15K premium, you're paying this every year for 5 years, and then it's fully paid?
Yeah, then it's not really fully paid. There's still expenses that go along with, with providing that death benefit and the administration of the policy. But the 6% tax-free that's earned in there will cover that and more. So you never have to make another. I would never have to put any more money in this cash value or toward the premium once I funded it fully for 5 years.
Okay, now, so as long as you put $15K for the first 5 years, then you're good.
It wouldn't be the 15. You would have to fund the whole policy, because the whole 100, because it's the cash value piece that's earning money that's going to pay for your premium for the remainder of the policy. So
when you put the 100 in, though, $15K goes towards the premium.
Yes.
Right. Every year that you put the 100K in.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's only for 5 years. And then.
Well, yeah, I don't know for sure. There's still a cost associated with the policy, but if in year 6, let's say you did this for 5 years, you did $100,000 for 5 years, and then say for the next 5 years, you just did nothing, the policy would be self-sustaining, because the cash value piece would take care of the administrative costs and whatever the cost is for the death benefit.
Oh, I see. Okay, because you're getting that 6% return, so that will take care of whatever maintenance costs are on. Okay, that makes sense. But then, okay, so then, because what I'm looking at, I mean, the thing that concerns me, because it makes sense what you said, like parking the cash there, because I would certainly do that. But then I don't like the idea that I'm immediately losing $15,000 of a $100,000 investment in the cash value of it. I mean, I'm making up some of it here, but I'm not losing it, because you're still getting this.
Yeah, you're buying something. You're getting something in exchange. You just got to decide whether that makes sense for you, whether it's worth it.
But if I didn't care about this at all, then I would be being hit here. But here's a question. Maybe this makes it worth it. When you invest in this life insurance, let's say I had $100,000 worth of capital gains, right? I had a liquidity event. If I put it into this policy, is that a write-off as an investment, or am I still paying the capital gains?
No, you still pay the capital gains if you had a liquidity event. Yeah. Okay. I mean, just like a Roth. Yeah, you pay tax. This is all after tax money that's going in here.
That's going in. Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, it's good that it grows, tax free, though. I guess that makes sense. But
there's another thing too, that since this is a private contract between you and the insurance company, whatever's going on in here, the loans or anything, this doesn't hit a credit report. This isn't on anybody's radar. It's completely private and off the radar. So that's kind of a nice thing. And that's part of the creditor protection thing. But you wouldn't have a problem going to get a loan for a house or an investment and say, oh, but look, you've got $400,000 worth of loans in this policy. Well, but they never have to be paid off. Oh, well, that doesn't work. The banker says that doesn't work for me. So anyway, that never happens here.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. I'm still not completely. I don't completely have my head wrapped around, like, if I have 100. Well, I guess this is a question I would ask. So and maybe you need to dig a little deeper to figure this out. But if I have 100K cash right now, let's say that I had a liquidity event, and I've got 100K cash, and I could take the 100K and I could put it directly into a real estate investment, getting 15% ROI, or I could put it into here and then do a loan against it and then do a 70K investment. Why would I choose this? In my mind, the only thing that makes sense is if I'm looking for the long term to get the tax-free growth on this, or I really want this life insurance policy and I want to get it cheaper.
Well, you're essentially, I would say, if you were, first of all, if you had $100,000 and you wanted to go do a piece of real estate, I wouldn't go pay cash for it. I'd get a loan for it and buy a $500,000 piece of real estate, right? So so in this case, it's no different. The only difference is that you're kind of the bank. You're you're doing the loan using your own cash value as collateral, and
yeah.
And there's you don't go through any lengthy application process. You send an email to the insurance company and say, look, I'd like to take a $50,000 loan. They don't ask you what it's for, and in 7 business days the money shows up in your account and you go make your investment. So I still think you have, and I might have to, like you said, do a little bit better on this, but you are making money in 2 places at the same time. You're making it over there in the cash value piece, and you're making it through the loan on the investment.
But I could just take the 70K loan. In that instance, right, if I were going to take the 70K loan, I wouldn't just take the 70K loan from here. Instead, I would take the 70K loan from here, and I would use it as a down payment on a $280,000 property, right, and still get a loan from the bank.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't model that because it just kind of gets a little complicated. So but you're exactly right. The 70,000 loan, I'm just doing a 15% on the $70,000 loan, but I would do exactly what you're doing. Maybe you borrow the down payment out of this policy and then get the remainder from a bank.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just not seeing a clear reason why I would I would take this tax on the 100K instead of just taking the 100K directly into here, or get a bank loan, whatever, because right. I'm taking a hit on this 15K.
Right. Well, I'm not doing this as a shameless plug for my site, but so on blog number 37 is the part 2 of the 2-part video, and Rod Zabriskie is the insurance guy, and he goes through that. So if your listeners want to look at that, he does and I say so. Rod does a better job explaining that than I do. So anyway,
okay,
that's there as a resource. But it's 37. I mean, it's an hour long thing, but
okay, yeah, I'll have to go through that whole thing and check it out, because right, I'm sure there's something to it but right now when I'm looking at it, I don't like, aside from this, aside from having the life insurance, mm-hmm. I don't see because the ROI is higher just taking 100K and investing it yourself. I didn't do the exact calculations because you'd have to take out the tax, the taxes on the return that you'd get here. Although if it's in a real estate investment, you're not going to pay those taxes right away, just on the cash flow part of it. So there's a little bit more to that part, but maybe the recycling of the cash flow, that might make the difference that I'm not seeing, because then it increases your collateral, which increases your loan amount.
Well, I'm just thinking about this. If you were to, let's see, you took this 85. So you took 85,000 and we turned it into 250 over 5 years, except the fact that we've got the outstanding loan. I'm just trying to think, if you did kind of just a normal, you took the 85 and got a bank loan, what would that look like? And all right, Okay, sounds like I got some more homework to do on this one.
Okay. All right. But yeah, but this is interesting. There's something here for sure. I mean, certainly it makes sense. It looks like if you want to get life insurance, because then you're
Hmm.
kind of getting paid to get life insurance as
Right.
opposed to paying into it. And there's value of this policy itself. I wonder if this policy has a value besides this. I wonder if when you're fully vested in this policy, if that policy has its own value that
Well, there are some other things. I mean, you've got the death benefit, right? And
right.
but they also have the ability. This is actually there's a bit of a long-term care element to this. It doesn't qualify for a long-term care policy, but you can advance some money. So if I got sick or laid up or was disabled for some period of time, you can actually pull forward. I believe it's some of the death benefit, to pay for certain things for some period of time. So there is that aspect of it.
Okay.
But there's a lot of wealthy people that are using this. So I'm obviously not doing a very good job of explaining it.
No, I don't know. I just want to make sure that it makes sense to me, like to
Yeah.
actually, like, if I'm just thinking, like, if I have 100K cash, what, how does someone convince me to put it into this, versus just putting the
Yeah.
100K cash in? And right now I'm not totally convinced.
You're hooked on the $15,000 cost of policy, right? Because you're going,
Exactly.
okay, right, okay.
Because that's a big hurdle to overcome, because you have to make more than 15K
Yeah.
in order to make it worth it in the whole spread of it. But I mean, every cent that you're making above this, that you're borrowing money against, you're essentially reducing the cost of that 15K premium. So maybe that's the way to think about it. It's like you're getting a huge discount on, because you're using the money that you put in, you're recycling it in order to gain to invest, to actually pay down your policy, or to so maybe that's a way to look at it. But okay, well, cool. Yeah, I guess I'll take a look at this. And guys, if you want to take a look at this, it's on prolificinvestor.net and number 37 here. And yeah, let's see what we come up with. And if you've got some, just shoot me an email if you figure out some of the things here. I'm sure some of the guys that are listening to this will have some questions too. And yeah, but
I'm going to do a little bit of homework too, and see if I can answer some of your questions and figure that piece out. So
okay,
I get what you're talking about.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks again for jumping on, Chris, and sharing this. And guys, make sure you check out Chris's blog, like I just said, over here on theprolificinvestor.net. He's got a lot of great information on investing. And we did another live stream, I think a few months ago. If you haven't, go check that out as well. We talked about a lot of different investment vehicles. So
awesome.
all right.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Take care.